Her 9000's Game Room.
Dragon's Lair was a Laserdisc-based arcade game published by Cinematronics in 1983. In the game you played as Dirk the Daring, a knight attempting to rescue Princess Daphne from the foul wizard Mordoc's castle and the claws of an evil dragon. It featured animation by ex-Disney animator Don Bluth. Yes, that Don Bluth, the main man responsible for The Secret of Nim, An American Tale and The Land Before Time, as well as All Dogs Go to Heaven and many other cartoon feature films. Now, back when Dragon's Lair came out, the vast majority, if not all of the games, represented characters as sprites, which in simple terms are a series of pixels displayed in succession to form an image. Due to the hardware limitations of this, a lot of game artists were greatly restricted in the detail they could put into a character. For example, take the original classic NES Mario. He had a moustache to make his face a little more obvious and a hat to hide his hair, and a lack of real features or detail. Dragon's Lair overcame these limitations by tapping into the vast storage potential of the Laserdisc, the idea being that you could be in control of full-on cartoon characters bursting with detail, but unfortunately this imposed limitations on the actual gameplay. If you haven't played the original Dragon's Lair, then think of it like all of those games on the Mega CD, the full motion video kind, where you watch a film and on occasion you press the right button at just the right time to influence the outcome. This is pretty much how Dragon's Lair played. It was great to watch and I remember it shocking the heck out of people in the arcades in its day, but it was a definite case of style over substance, even though I find it fun for what it is. The success of Dragon's Lair sparked numerous home ports, sequels and related games though, and that is what I am here to talk about today, one of its ports, the Super Nintendo port to be precise. So the first question in your minds will be, how did they port a Laserdisc cartoon based game to the SNES? Did they try to stick to the source material and make a cut down version of the arcade machine, which functioned to the best of the SNES's abilities, keeping the style over substance mantra intact? Or did they just fudge it and make some kind of regular cash-in platformer? Or did they do something really bizarre? Well, close your eyes, take 10 seconds and guess. Oh wait, you don't have to imagine, as you've been watching me play it in the background of this video. If you guessed generic platformer, or even if you knew it from just paying attention to what's going on in the background of this video, then congratulations, you were right. The story is basically the same. You are still a daring knight out to rescue a princess from a dragon. Imagine a Castlevania light. Remove the whip, remove the amazing music and graphics and replace them with a basic repeating tune of very little worth, some grunting noises for bits and pieces like getting hit, and imagine you had the axe weapon you can get in Castlevania, but it's unlimited. There's no Mode 7 fanciness, well, apart from maybe the way the attract screen has the title rotate interview. By and large though, what you have are basic Amiga style graphics, areas of the map that seem to be repeated and repeated with different exits added on. It is a pretty challenging game, well unless you have played the NES port, the NES version is impossible, and so in comparison makes this one feel like a piece of piss. It's still harder than it needs to be though. You might say, oh, but if you try again and get better, then you'll find some enjoyment. No you won't, the game is kind of boring. And you'll wish that you could stop playing it at any time and just find something better to do with your life. There is some better music later in the game and things do get a little more varied, but it never feels like quite enough. Somewhere deep inside this, there are elements of a good game trying to make their way out. I personally just don't think enough attention was paid to the game because they thought, what the heck, it's one of the most incredible arcade games as far as shock and awe goes, pin the name on this bitch and throw it out and see the dollars roll in. If you try this game you'll notice a 2-player option selectable. Now Dragon's Lair is one of those annoying not really 2-player games where you simply take turns on each stage using the same character. Exactly the same character, no change of colour or anything fancy here at all. I never saw the point in this kind of 2-player mode myself, you might as well just take turns on the 1-player mode. Who wants to play, lose a life, pass it to the next player for them to play the same bit of game, lose a life? It's just a pointless addition that I think some games threw in so that they could put on the box there was a 2-player mode when there wasn't really one. I would score this game 4 out of 10. It's below average, but it's not a complete abomination or anything. If you saw it for a few quid, I'd say give it a bash, but if it had ever come on the Virtual Console, I'd have said that the standard £6.50 that you paid for a SNES game could have been used on much better games. If you ever get the chance though, I'd strongly recommend you check out the arcade version, since it's a very cool concept and it's kind of a piece of video game history. I haven't seen a machine of it in years though. I think the last time I saw it was back when the American Adventure theme park was open. So maybe you'll have to consider going down the emulation route with this one. But yeah, unless you see this game for the SNES in some kind of pawn store for about £3, it's really not worth your time. Stick to the arcade version, or just stick to better games. Okay, that's Cur9000 signing out saying keep on gaming.